Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to talk about cloud computing. In this session, we are gonna teach you what is cloud computing, how beneficial is it in the current era, how organization can benefit from cloud computing. I'm gonna take you through the entire concept of cloud computing. What are the benefits? What are the differences with the on-site infrastructure? And how organization can benefit from this new technology. First of all, before starting speaking about the deployment model and the service model, let me introduce you and explain to you what cloud computing in simple words mean. Cloud computing is like you're using someone else's mobile or computer over the internet. You don't rely on your own device or infrastructure. You can store, manage, process data on remote services and remote servers. This lets you access various computing resources whenever you need them. It is convenient because you can scale up and down as you require, unlike the on-site infrastructure where when you scale up, it's very difficult and complicated to scale down. And with this feature, you can only pay for what you use. Companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google now provide these cloud services to users. Let's start about talking the modules. There are mainly two major models. They are called the deployment model and the service model. The deployment model has three types: public, private, and hybrid models. To explain this in simple way and simplify it to you, let's assume that you are using transportation from your home to your workstation. If you're using the public transportation, you're using a bus which is owned by another entity. It's by the government, but you don't use it by your own. It is shared with other public people. This is the model of public model, where everybody can use the same feature you are using. And then you have the private. It's like you're using your own car. You own the hardware itself. It is tailored specifically for you. And the third is hybrid, is like riding a taxi. So you're riding the taxi alone, but you don't own the taxi. It's owned by someone else, a third party. This is as a deployment model. As a service model, the service model is divided into three models. The IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, the cloud service model, where users get access to basic computing infrastructure. Usually IT admins, they use it for storage or virtual machines. Then the second one is PaaS, that's the platform as a service. It's developing, testing, and managing applications deployed without the need to maintain the architecture, application, and data managed by you. The rest of components are handled by cloud service providers. And the third method is the SaaS, which is software as a service. You will not need to handle anything. Everything is handled by the cloud service providers. So it depends on your business requirements. You will need to choose among these models. Now let's go through the presentation and talk about the cloud computing in details. As of now, do you have any question? Perfect. So through this presentation, we are going to talk introduction. We introduce to you what cloud computing is. Then we will talk about cloud development in specific. Then understanding the cloud potentials, benefits of the cloud computing. There are huge benefits for public and for users. We are going to talk about the most common benefits of this cloud computing. We will talk about the continuous improvement of this computing, security, compliance with the cloud. We will talk about application development in the cloud. We will talk also about implementing the cloud solutions into your organization, what you need and how you can go forward, moving forward to develop your business. We will talk about choosing the right provider future of the cloud computing, next generation, optimizing, and the conclusion of what we are going to be teaching today. The technology innovations continue to shape and advance business operations. Embracing cloud computing has become essential for all businesses and organizations and companies. Developing in the cloud offers several benefits, such as scalability, flexibility, and reduced infrastructure cost. Adapting the best practices, including continuous integration and deployment, automation, and monitoring, they can help your business, of course, to unlock the full potential of cloud computing, resulting improved efficiency and productivity. Let me just simply give you a comparison of cloud computing and on-site structure. Let's say this is on-site and this is cloud. Okay. Talking about this, I'll talk first about scalability. In scalability, when you do on-site building of your infrastructure, it will be very expensive. That's number one. So the expense is very high. Then once you scale up, it's very complicated and hard to scale down. You cannot scale down. While in cloud, the cost is minimal because you will be paying for only what you use, when you use. And when it comes to scalability, you can easily scale up and down based on demand and based on your needs. So for this, cloud computing wins. Then we can talk about cost efficiency. On site, you need to build your own buildings, your own structure, your own hardware, your own devices, and then you need to pay for this. This will cost you a lot of money and will definitely consume lots of your budget. However, this is very expensive. When you use the cloud, then you don't use your own hardware. Everything is done by someone else. So the cost is less in this case. So and here for the cost also the cloud computing wins. Thirdly, we can talk about storage. And in on-site, you need to have your own devices, your own infrastructure to store your data, and this also will cost you a lot. So you will have a lot of space needed, lots of cost, maintenance, and monitoring. So you will be using your resources instead of your resources focusing on the project itself, on the work they need to do. They will be focusing on managing the storage of your data. While on cloud, you're not the one who's managing the storage. The storage is done by a third party, which is the cloud providers. They will take care of the hassle of managing, monitoring, making sure that your stored data is available for you whenever you need and as much as you need, then you can consume it. In the same time, when you have this setup, it's a bit complicated because if one of your resources is working on the data that you store on site, the other resources cannot work on the same data. However, when you invest on cloud, when someone of your resources is working, several resources can work at the same time seamlessly. They can work and access your data anytime, available on 24-hour basis. So again here, the win goes for the cloud. Then the security, and this is very important method, very important element. In the security, if you on-site have a problem and you fail, your data, for example, is down, you will be investing a lot of resources, wasting your resources, your time, your money, management on trying to solve out the problem. However, the cloud companies have a very beautiful and strong data recovery, disaster recovery, where if the data has problem, they can easily and immediately restore the data through the disaster recovery. So here once, looking at these benefits and comparison, you can see that the cloud, of course, wins because you will be utilizing your team members, your resources into the job that they have to do, rather than concentrating on other stuff that someone else can take the hassle from you. Cloud development. Developing in the cloud refers to the practice of using cloud computing resources and services to build and deploy software applications. The cloud development offers several advantages. As we said, scalability, flexibility, cost effectiveness. Instead of setting up and maintain your own infrastructure, you can leverage cloud platforms such as Amazon Web Services, AWS, or Google Cloud, GCP. They will host your application